cameras, at least at the production level, the 5,000 and above, start to ship with Thunderbolt connections because it makes a lot of sense from an uncompressed. And that's the new. You didn't have anything. We got into this never land where you had HDMI, which has to be converted, or you had FireWire, which everyone's discontinuing, and now you have another option not too far away.
The key benefit is the new Ivy Bridge chip that Intel is coming out with later this month, because when the first Thunderbolt chips were released, it took 6 chips to create a Thunderbolt connection, which required remachining all of your hard disks and all of your cameras to fit that new daughter board in. With the new Ivy Bridge chip, which ships at the end of April, we're able to fit that into a much smaller packet, which means now the same engineering that fits hard disks or cameras can work with a small chipset.
Was that one of the big delays? Was that
it was a huge delay because everybody had to go through multi-$100 million re-engineering costs to get. The chips required an extra half-inch of space, and there wasn't a half-inch of space in the hard drives. So by getting the chipset down, they can now put it onto the main motherboard within the hard disk or the RAID or the camera without having to have that extra half-inch of space for the daughter board. So I had a conversation yesterday with one of the hard disk developers to say, is there a performance difference between the Sandy Bridge chips, the original ones, and the Ivy Bridge chips, the current ones? And the performance is the same. So we're not going to have to worry about, like we were doing with the Oxford chips, I've got a 911 or a 922 or a 944 determining how fast my FireWire is. The speed of Thunderbolt won't change, assuming copper. When you change the chipset, you're just going to get smaller space, which means we can put it in more devices.
I got to say, going from SSD to SSD, like my internal drive is SSD, and we had something we had captured on a Pix 240, and SSD to SSD is 220 megabytes a second. It's like to edit, 200 gigs in like 17 minutes, and from the pure geek in me was very. I was just like, I can't believe. I just want people to, when they complain about things, I just want them to know what it used to be like. We used to have SCSI, and we were trying to get 30 megs a second out of it. We had to restripe the drives every week to make sure that we could get 30 megs a second out of our Media 100. And now look at this.
It's sad when
my laptop.
It's sad when nobody cares what we went through before.
In the old days. I don't think you understand that I had to walk backwards through the snow up the hill.
Let's take a break.